Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, I am Dr. Rashida Muhtar. So today, we will discuss on our first topic, which is critical thinking core skills. So before we go further, let us look at the ICT 500 course learning outcomes. So at the end of this course, students, you should be able to describe how critical and creative thinking can be used in IT problem solving. Number 2, so you should be able to demonstrate the lifelong learning skills in critical and creative thinking for information technology solutions. And number 3 is you can design a creative IT solution, so which is you produce a product or services using IT or using information technology. Okay, so now we move to the learning outcomes for this topic. So at the end of our lecture today or our discussion today, you should be able to self-learning yourself, for 3 things. First, you can define your critical thinking. You can discuss what are the core critical thinking skills, and then you can describe your own critical thinking skills. Okay, next. Okay, so basically, how do you know whether it is a critical thinking or just a normal thinking? So basically, in our real life class, so we have problem, and then how we solve our problem. So we need to think of the solution. So thinking can be very critical, or you can think as a normal thinking. So in terms of solving problems, also same. So you can solve your problem using a normal way, or you can try innovative solution using critical thinking. So now let us look at the normal problem that we face, maybe almost every day, so which is the parking problem. So this is, if you look at the slide, you can see that this is the very crowded parking. So sometimes you don't have any space to park, and especially for places that is for business centered, for example, hospital, banking, and so on. So how do you solve this problem? So let's say you are one of the policy maker or the top management in the business, in a company. So how do you think of the solution? Alright, so this video, I share a video where you can look at the solution of a problem in parking using a traditional solution. So this is very or quite interesting video. So try to play the video, but I can say that this is one of very cute solution, which is they are using balloons as one of the solution for parking problem. Next. This one is another video. So you can play also this video, which is this is a simulation or animation on IT solution for parking problem. So basically the traditional way in solving parking is not wrong, but nowadays we are having so many technology to solve our problems in daily life. So why not we use IT solution to solve the parking problem? So this one is using so this one I want you to view yourself. I want to show the next innovative solution. So let us see what are the solutions that we have using technology. So basically we have smart parking solutions. Okay, so this is the first using robotic solution. So this is very innovative solution, which is very critical, using critical thinking. Very nice. Okay, we can have more spaces. Okay. This one is smart robotic parking solution system. So it will it will detect your vehicle based on application developed. Okay, next is car.Kali, okay, which is another solution where you can have parking underground, okay, garage. Okay, so this is very good for limited space. Okay, this is the real application or the real solution they are using. Okay, I do not know which country they use this one. Okay, very nice. Okay, ideal park the car lift. So your car also can enter the lift and follow you where you are, at level, which level. Quite nice, right? Okay, this is another solution that we have. Okay. So there are many sensors which is tied out to parking, okay, smart parking system. There are many sensors they can detect, okay, who is the owner, okay, using the system apps. Also very innovative solution, okay. Alright, so that's all for the innovative solution for parking problem. So using technology, okay, human can solve many problems. Okay, but how they comes with the solution is using critical thinking, okay, to think of the solution for certain problems. Okay, it's not easy to propose an innovative solution, right? Okay, so next, okay, we look at this is example class of solution. Okay, we continue. So this is example of solutions, okay, that I get from other resources. Okay, so this is some of the readings you can read. Okay, I share the link. Okay, first is solution for parking using IoT. So what is IoT? So basically IoT is Internet of Things. So you are using internet technology, okay, to solve the problems. Okay, so I hope you can see, but you can also look at your, okay. So this is a IoT solution for parking problem in Malaysia. So basically, okay, they are using, normally when we talk about internet, we are using the mobile. Okay, so mobile solution, so you can connect to your device, okay, to know the parking, okay, system that we have. So this is the benefits of IoT smart parking solutions. So it using the real time data analysis. So means that you can look up available parking spots using your apps on your phone. So normally nowadays we are using mobile more than other technology. So you can install the apps and then you can get, for example, using Get My Parking companies. Okay. After that, okay, it can guarantee parking spots. Okay, this is some of the benefit. So and then it will meter time extensions. So it will give you the time for you to extend time for your parking. okay, because normally it will have some fees on the parking, okay, and then it can identify different priority violation, so especially for the busy country, okay. So and then and also for the parking in illegal area, okay. Okay, and then efficient space utilization. So using smart parking solution create a far more efficient system for utilizing parking space, both through real-time tracking and a notification system for car owners searching for parking. Okay, so this is the idea of IoT. It is not only using for parking problem in Malaysia. Actually, there are lots of problem that we have used IoT as one of the solution. Alright, okay, next we look at the IoT solution for banking system. So you can read this article. Okay, I share to you the article because this one is quite interesting. I believe that this is one of case study that relate to your area. Okay, because you are a banking student, right? Okay, so what are the problems that we have in the banking system? Okay, so basically this is example of IoT considering is a network of device connected, but I know that actually we have now the solution, okay, where you can have your transaction through your mobile, okay, or online banking. Okay, but IoT actually facilitating banking system more than that. Okay. Okay, so what are the benefits of IoT in banking? So normally you are using ATM, so nowadays, okay, you can use your apps, okay, to do the transaction and so on. Okay, so you can have the credit transaction. So this is all the benefits that we have. So I hope that you can read from the article to get some idea. Okay, I just share this one for you to get critical thinking on your area. Okay. Alright, okay, next we look at the, okay, so we have looked some idea on what is the purpose of critical thinking. So why you need to learn about critical thinking, because of nowadays we have problems, okay. So self-learning activity for you, okay, I want you to have to list 2 problems that you face every day and then propose the solution to that problem, okay. So think of the most problems that you think is very important to your life, okay, and then try to have the solutions, okay, if you have the solution, or you can use others solution, or you can create your innovative solution, okay. So use mind mapping tool, so any mind mapping tool or apps to record your answer. Alright, so now we move to the next part, okay, which is this is the first objective or learning outcomes, okay, that you need supposed to have, which is you need to define, okay, what is critical thinking. So basically, okay, in our class, okay, we are using Michael Scriven and Richard Paul 1987 critical thinking definition, okay, which is it is actually, what is critical thinking? Actually the process, okay, of intellectual discipline. So you are using your mind, okay, to critical or to think critically about certain things, okay. That's why we call it process, because we need a time to do that, okay. And then it is related to the certain skills, okay. When you think, it is not you just think a normal way, so you need to have very skill. For example, okay, you need to conceptualize, okay, what you are thinking, okay, you need to applying, okay, and then you need to analyze, okay, what is the problem. So normally, as I mentioned earlier, okay, critical thinking is you think something that not most of the time is about problem, okay. So you want to solve a problem. So how you solve that problem? So some I believe you will use some of this thinking core. Okay, for example, you analyze the problem first. So you need to identify what is your problem. Okay, then you need to synthesize. Okay, or you need to do some experiment. Okay, and then after that you list down the solution, then you choose the solution, then you evaluate. Okay, is it the solution is very good for that problem? Okay. Okay, after that, okay, the information gathered from that process, okay, of critical or generated by. So how you do the critical thinking process? So from your observation, okay, from your experience, okay, this is the critical thinking methods. Reflection, reasoning, or communication as a guide to belief and action. Okay, so this is actually defined by the National Council for Excellence in Critical Thinking, 1987. Quite old this definition, but this is actually very complete or comprehensive, okay, definition. So you can adopt this definition for your class. Okay, so and then also attached in the slide, okay, the link of the paper. So you please read class, as we don't have any other references or textbook. So please read this article to get some idea on the critical thinking process definition. Okay, so next we look at the critical thinking, what we can have. Okay, so it is actually about curiosity, right? Do you agree with me? It is about you want to know something, so you're curious, want to learn or know. So critical thinking, sometimes a person say that it is about creativity. Okay, so sometimes different person have different critical thinking level. Okay, so you can look at different perspective. Okay, so different people will see that one case or problem in different ways. Okay, skepticism. Okay, so maintaining a trust but define your verify your mindset. Okay, and then critical thinking is about analysis. Okay, so systematically examining and evaluating the evidence. Okay, and then it is sometimes about logic. Okay, reaching well-founded conclusion. Okay, so we move to the next part, okay, which is the 6 core critical thinking skills. Okay, this one is defined or proposed by Fekuen, okay, 2010. So this one is very good critical thinking skills. Okay, so the first, so we have 6 core mentioned. So the first one is about interpretation. So understanding, clarifying, decoding ideas. So you interpret things. Okay. Second skills that you need to have in order for you to critical about certain things is analysis. Okay, what is analysis? Investigating strength. Okay, you need to have skills on identify weaknesses, similarity, differences, and so on. Okay, number 3 skill, which is the evaluation. Okay, assessing and making judgment. Okay, number 4 is about inference. Okay, so how you draw your reasonable conclusion. Okay, more on your assumptions and so on. Okay, number 5 is explanation. Okay, presenting ideas with clarity and with justification. So you explain what you are thinking about. Okay, the last one is self-regulation, okay, which is reflecting on why and how I do what I do and so on. So we go one by one. Okay, we see what are the critical thinking skills that we can have. Okay, so this one I get the questions, okay, that you can find up your critical thinking skills. So actually, class, these skills you can polish your skills. Okay, sometimes you have the skills, but if you are not using the skills, it will not useful to you. Okay, so how you use that skills? Okay, this is some of the questions that you can ask yourself if you have something that you want to solve or problem that you want to solve. Okay, so for example, interpretation. Okay, what are the questions that you can ask? Okay, so what does this mean? Okay, what is happening? Okay, what should we understand that? Okay, what is the best way to categorize? Okay, classify. Okay, for example, about the COVID-19 situation here. So you can critical on that Okay, so in this context, what was intended by saying or doing that? Okay, how can we make sense of this? Okay, so that is interpretation. Okay, the next one is analysis. So you want to analyze certain things. So reasoning. Okay, you want to make a reasoning or claiming, right? So what is your conclusion? So you can ask yourself, why do you think of that? Okay, what are the arguments pro and cons? What assumptions must we make to accept that conclusion? Okay. Okay, inference. Okay, given what we know so far, okay, what conclusions can we draw? Okay, what does this evidence imply? Okay, what is the assumption? Okay, if we use this assumption, what happened? Okay, if we use the next assumption, what happened? Okay, if we believe these things, what would they imply for us going forward? Okay, what are some alternatives we haven't yet explored? So this is all the questions, okay, that fire up your skill. Okay, next we look at the evaluation, okay, core thinking core skill, which is how credible is that claim? Okay, so how you evaluate, okay, how strong those arguments, is it okay for you to have this solution? Okay, so you can ask. Okay, explanation, what were the specific findings? Okay, please tell us how you conduct the analysis. Okay, you need to explain very detailed on the analysis or the solution that you have. Okay, the last skills is self-regulation. So you can ask question, how good is our evidence? Okay, before we commit, what are we missing? Okay, I am finding some of our definitions a little confusing. Can we revisit what we mean by certain things before making any final decisions? So class, if you look at all the questions that can fire up your critical thinking skills, so this question is not a normal question, right? Because you are now trying to polish your critical thinking. Okay, so this is not a normal thinking. Okay, so this is actually the sources 2014 from the user manual for California Critical Thinking Skills test. So you can get the full user manual, okay, from the internet. Okay, so this is examples of the expert description on each of these skills that we have stated earlier. Okay, for example, interpretation. So experts consensus description to comprehend and express the meanings of significance, okay, of the experience, situation, data, and so on. So the sub-skill that you need to have inside of the interpretation, which is the categorize. Okay, you need to have clarify meaning for certain things. Okay, next, analysis. So to identify the intended and actual inferential relationships among certain statements, things, concepts, and so on. Okay, what are the sub-skills that you need to have? Examine the ideas. Okay, so you need to identify ideas. Okay, arguments, reasoning, claims, and so on. Okay, next we look at the inference. Okay, to identify and secure elements needed to draw reasonable conclusions. Okay, to form conjectures, hypotheses. So normally inference is, most of the time when we talk, the terms inference is related to the experiments and so on, okay, or the science. So sub-skill is about theory. Okay, you need to ask, okay, evidence, okay, you need to do some hypothesis, draw logical or valid justification and conclusion. Okay, next we look at the evaluation, okay, to assess the credibility of the statement. Okay, so you need to evaluate your statement, your inference. Okay, before this, okay, is it your inference is okay? So that is the skill, the evaluation skill, okay, the purpose. Okay. Okay, so sub-skill that you need to have, access credibility of claims, okay, access quality of the arguments. So, for example, in our class, we have evaluation, right? So, evaluation or assessment normally to assess your understanding or knowledge, okay? So, that is the purpose of evaluation. Okay, next skill, which is the explanation, okay, to state and to justify the reasoning. Okay, which is explanation is also one of the skill is very important, okay, for you to defend your ideas or your solution. Okay, sub-skill that you need to have for critical thinking in the explanation core skill. which is state results. Okay, justify procedures. You need to have how you justify or how you explain to that. So you need to have the procedures or the step or you choose any techniques, okay, to present your arguments. Okay, and then the core critical thinking skill is the last one, is self-regulation. So which is your self-consciousness to monitor one's cognitive activities, elements. Okay, so you self-monitor, okay, you self-correct. So this is actually when you want to use critical thinking. So actually you are using yourself, okay, to criticize your own solution. Okay, next one. Alright, so in these clips, okay, so it is about interpret facial expression. Okay, so this is from the facial expression, so you can interpret either the person is angry, okay, sad, okay, and so on. So I want you to play or view this clip, okay, on your own. Alright, okay, next we look at the self-learning activity 3. So it is about your observation, okay, one of the skill that is important in our class, okay, which is skill for the critical thinking. Okay, so I want you to see this one also. Okay, so to get some observation test, right? Okay, so next we look at the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so actually Bloom's taxonomy is a framework, okay, to do the assessment or evaluation. Okay. Okay, so I have shared the link about the very brief about the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so this is the Bloom's taxonomy. This one. Okay, I just shared the very basic about theory or definition about Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, which is it is invented by Benjamin Bloom in 1956. Collaborated with Max K. Engelhardt, Edward Peirce, okay, Walter Hill, David Crosthall, okay, which is published the framework, okay, for categorizing educational goals. Okay, so it is a framework applied normally for the school. Okay, so it is consists of 6 major categories: okay, knowledge, comprehension, application, synthesis, and evaluation. So each category, okay, will have a very detail. Okay, so we look back at our slide. Okay, so this is Bloom's taxonomy. So okay, the first level, okay, which is you just remember what you have learned. Okay, so remembering, so find or remember information, okay, list. So basically in terms of SEO assessment, okay, the example of question that we normally ask in final exam or final assessment, which is, okay, please define, okay, in critical thinking. That one is a skill for the remembering. Okay, the first one. So you just memorize what you have learned. Okay, for example, in our session today. So what we have learned, for example, list 6 critical thinking core skills, okay, that we have learned. That is remembering. Okay, the next level, okay, which is much more difficult, which is understanding. So understanding is making sense about information. Okay, explanation, you need to explain, okay, what are the skills that you need to have in critical thinking. Okay, the next level in Bloom's taxonomy, which is the applying. Okay, so use info in a new but similar form. Okay, use diagram, so you apply. So how, for example, question, okay, how you can use observation skill, okay, for the critical thinking. Okay, so normally question asked is about how, okay, or where to apply, okay, or apply. Okay. Okay, the next level of Bloom's taxonomy skill that you need to have in education, okay, creating. So use info to create something new. Okay, for example, question, okay, design. Okay, if you have something that you need to construct. Okay, construct. Okay, and then we have evaluating. Okay, critically examining information and make judgments. Okay, criticize. Okay, defend. Okay, give your explanation. Okay, analyzing, okay, which is you take into part and explore relationship. So you need to examine, okay, organize, compare and contrast. This is a level. So the bottom is the lower level, okay, the upper is the higher level of Bloom taxonomy. Okay, so I want you to answer this question by yourself. Okay, what skills have you had? Okay, and then what skills do you not have? Then what skills do you want to develop? And this is you need to ask yourself. Okay, for critical thinking skill. Okay, so at the end of our discussion, okay, so you need to have these three in your mind, okay, which is you need to define your critical thinking. You can define your critical thinking. You can discuss 6 core critical thinking skills in detail. Okay, at the end, and then you can describe your own critical thinking skills that you have. Okay, mapping to the 6 core critical thinking. So I believe everybody of you have this critical thinking, but maybe you don't realize that it is actually one of the skills in the critical thinking. Okay, so I think that's all for our discussion. Okay, for the first part of our chapter, which is the critical thinking skills. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. So we will discuss further in our live session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.